Hey, what's up, folks? It's your boy DJ81 on that NHL 22. This footage, well, it's actually not going to be gameplay footage, but I'm just going to be talking about the gameplay sliders that I've been working on. For those of you that watched the previous footage, which was a lot of you, uh, you saw a version of the sliders that I had in place. You saw a lot of loose possessions. You saw a lot of like double, like uh, the the ability to acquire the puck was twice as hard as it would be on default. And it was on purpose because I had set up the sliders that way. Because my goal has been on NHL to try to make sliders based on the real time 20 minutes. Now, I can't really compensate for the programming of the game because the game is made for 10-minute up and like end to end hockey. It's not really made to deal with recoiling and using just outright strategy at times, which you see in these games. We've already had a bunch of games from the NHL debut this past week. In particular, my Capitals beating up on the Carringers. And you saw how hockey is actually played. And for those that have been watching the sport for quite some time, just to let you know, just a little background, I've been watching it ever since I was 6 years old. I'm 41 years old, so I've watched a lot of hockey. That's just my context. I've not actually played the sport. I hope to at some point before I'm not able to play any sports anymore. But like I said, I'm here to really make the sliders as best as I can for a real time 20 minutes. Now, in doing a little research on previous games of NHL, I've checked on Operation Sports, I've checked Reddit, I've checked a lot of things. And what I came across was a dev actually telling one of the community members that the key to making real-time sliders is to focus on lowering accuracies. Was the main thing I got from it. So we can go right to the sliders. I don't know if you're gonna hear the controller click or whatnot, but I'm just doing this real time. So, and I think another thing was also slowing. Actually, no, this didn't come from the dev. This was something that I thought about on my own in my multiple times I've tested in multiple years and multiple discussions I had with a friend of mine, Bills. And one thing I did at first was slow down the game speed, but let's look at the accuracy. So, shooting accuracy. So, shot accuracy, my fault. As you can see, oh, that's what I needed to drop down. I need to drop down one-timer accuracies because there are chances where people swing and miss. So, that'll be one thing I'll be dropping. Not too much because in the games that I play, it doesn't really happen a whole lot. So, but shot accuracies being down and the slap shot accuracy being down as well. Now, what's going to happen is that with the slap shot accuracy, it's going to cause a lot of those shots to go wide. Now, this game, it doesn't record shots attempted versus shots recorded. You literally it won't record it as an actual stat, but in the game, just to go back, in the game, it will record it if it's within the post lines or hitting the goaltender or whatever. As long as it's within the goal lines, then they'll count it as a shot. But if it goes wide, it doesn't count as a shot. So this will increase the shot attempts will probably be the same depending on the difficulty level because there's also a shot aggression difference between pro and all-star and superstar. And then the other variable is per team because I sat there and played the Tampa Bay Lightning just last night and they took like 22 shots. Even with the sliders I had, they took 22 shots in the first, or recorded 22 shots in the first period. So I'm also making my adjustments based on the team that has the best offense, and Tampa clearly has the best offense in the game. So, dropping that accuracy, and then with passing, dropping down the pass accuracy. I may do something with the pass assist. Now, this one is a key one right here, and that is reception reaction time. Now, that means as a user, you definitely have to be careful of proximity of the player that you're passing to, because they may not have enough time to react. And with this boosted all the way up to 90, they may miss it. It may clang off their stick and stuff like that, which tends to happen in these games. On default, you don't really see it that much or at all. So again, in my quest to make a slider set geared for a 20-minute game as best as I can, I have to do this. So I don't really bother with reception ease a whole lot. Puck control rating effect. It definitely affects the lower rated players as far as this rating is concerned. The lower they're rated, the greater they'll have a chance to mishandle the puck. So be careful. This was a magic number I came across as a couple of years ago. Because any higher than this, most of your defensemen are not going to be able to handle shit. So definitely don't worry about that. I think I kept these around the same. At first I had them high, but then I dropped them down, so I kept these the same. Go to puck control. Definitely to get that loose and tangible puck, you definitely want to have the puck control low. This is going to go hand in hand with the checking, because thank God we have this in the game, the stick in physics. I'm glad we're able to adjust that, because I think with these sliders, and if you get a chance to try them out, it's still in testing phase, but what I'll do is at the end, I'll go back and go through each one. Like, I won't be speaking through each one. I'll just go through each one so you can see all the numbers that I've inputted. So, yeah, so puck control makes the puck more tangible, loose. You get your loose possessions. Find that, when I adjusted the checking, in which, let's see, skating impact. I didn't touch the rest of these. I just kept it at that. All right, so goalies, I haven't touched that yet. So checking. Now, I like to play with the hitting assistance off, but this is going to be real high. This is kind of self-explanatory the way I'm going to explain it. The higher the threshold, the more gravity takes hold of a player, which will affect their overall speed. So that's why I'm not on the front end. I'm not really lowering their speed too much, because they're actually going to feel weighted once I up these thresholds. So they'll stumble, they'll fall. I lowered the aggression so they can play more positional hockey, because you can see the way they play. It's not always in your face hockey, at least until you get to the playoffs. You get to the playoffs, that's when it's more in your face hockey. Hitting power down to 1, because what I'm trying to mimic is not so much the outright crushing hits. Like, those will happen from time to time, but what I'm trying to do is trying to get the nudging, the pushing, there's no grabbing in the game as of yet that I've seen. And that's something defensively I would like to have them add on, being able to grab on the players, reach across players and stuff like that. And with the stick and physics, if people are being nudged and pushed, they get pushed up against the wall, against the boards. They get pushed up against the goaltender. They get pushed up against the goalpost. They get pushed up against each other. Then they're not knocking each other out. And also it lowers the amount of hits in the game. So in combination, aggression and hitting power will lower that. So I didn't touch the size or speed effect. didn't touch any of this. I don't think oh yeah, I definitely upped this because, again, adds in with the physics, and players do run into each other. You see it from time to time. And I would like for there to be a pileup at some point in time, because pileups do occur sometimes at the goaltender spot. So that's something that needs to be hopefully puts in the game. But I didn't touch the rest of these. Now penalties, I kind of dropped it down to 20 and kept the settings the same for the actual penalties. I actually like that NHL 22 so far is calling all the penalties. You're seeing more of a variety this year than you've done in years past. So good job for them, the devs. AI, I have it on All-Star, so I keep the AI learning where it is. Didn't touch the strategy adjustment. So that's what I have so far. And like I said before, I was going to go back and I'm going to just let you guys see it in its entirety, so that way you guys can try them out. And again, it's probably going to change per tuner that they put out, but thank God we can always go back to the previous tuner, because obviously this is on the latest tuner. But I'm just going to go through and highlight all of these. If I'm going too fast, then it's just because, oh yeah, also another thing I need to explain, because I didn't explain this. This was the back skating, the puck carrier agility, and the puck carrier skating. Most skaters don't really lose that much speed. It's the same if you think about it in football, and I've played football. There's a difference between actual running speed and ball carrier speed. There's a slight slowdown, but people at the football outrun people all the time. So, you know, I would keep the speed around the same. Also helps with defense. Actually, it negates the defense a little bit, but this helps with defense, having this up, because these are professional skaters out here. They know how to skate backwards at speed, but it also gets them back in position to play defense. So it will discourage the end-to-end hockey and encourage more of the recoiling, recycling, and getting back in positional hockey overall. But let's go through this again. And if you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comment section below. I definitely do read the comments, as you guys see in the last video, which, you know, thank you guys for actually for taking the time to tune in. I know it was based on timing. Uploading a video during the EA trial phase definitely will get you views if you do it right. So I'm not saying that had anything to do with me. I'm very humble about my shit. So that was definitely due to timing. So I definitely appreciate that. Okay. And you got puck control. And I definitely would appreciate any feedback you guys have as far as slider input. What you guys are seeing. And remember, this is for real time 20 minutes. Now, what you can do is that you can set it up for a 12-minute or a 10-minute and see what stats you get from there, because half and half is like the reason why I'm putting these sliders together is kind of half and half. I want the gameplay to try to mimic what I see on TV, and I also want the stats to play out for that set time. And it's damn near impossible doing it at real time 20. So sometimes just shortening up the timing to like maybe 12 minutes or 10 minutes tends to help with that. You know, I'm real fickle when it comes to when I do, like, I manually change my lines and stuff like that. So what I came across and didn't realize is that it all plays out in the end. So it is what it is. So we should be rounding out the final portion. As I said, I left the penalty sliders the same except for the top part. And AI pretty much left the same. So I think that rounds out the sliders for, and I have them saved in a preset. And that's the one thing I hope that eventually they will be able to share slider sets. I know the roster sharing will be coming out in December for NHL 22, but they definitely need the slider sharing, because you don't want to see videos like this go 15 plus minutes where it's like a explanation slash you see what the sliders are. Most people probably skip the explanation and just see the sliders and input the numbers in and then play. But I'm definitely looking forward to the feedback on this. So if you guys have any questions, oh wait a minute, hold up. There's one more thing I need to rules. I gotta bring up the rules. So this is what I have it. And it's funny, it's actually insane. Not a lot of penalties have been getting called, and I've been trying to decipher the difference between the main penalties and the other on the other side, as far as the teammate. Well, the teammate and the CPU penalties kind of work hand in hand, so you definitely have to test that out and gauge whether that's good enough for you or not. So that's pretty much what I have, and this is on like dynamic medium. I know there's a speed difference when you have it on true broadcast, so for your true broadcast players, you may want to slow it down a little bit more. Instead of 40, maybe 30 for skating speed. Other than that, hopefully you guys have a good evening, good night whenever you are viewing this. And again, thank you for viewing the video. You guys take care and peace.